Hey look, I did what that kid at First State Fishing did. Whoops. Now this is what you feel when you're retrieving this reel. You don't feel the gears at all, which is pretty much every single reel out there. So guys that are making a big deal out of it are just on a hype train. But, hear that knocking? That's that handle lean and the in and out of the handle. Come on, that's sloppy. That's not a reel that I enjoy fishing in comparison to, say, a Corrado or a Tatula SV or a Tatula CT or even a Fuego $100 reel, or even whatever the $100 Shimano is nowadays. You know, they're all a little bit tighter than what this offers for $200. I was finally able to isolate that sound. I tightened the spool tension up just a little bit, and it actually is the tolerance in the spool and the NZB bearing, whatever they are, and the spool shaft. I can take the spool, move it forward and backwards, like this way and this way, not side to side. And that's what that chattering is. It's that sloppy tolerance between those bushings. Man, that's ugly. And again, there's spool tension there, so it's not like that chattery sound is the spool going back and forth. Let's go another rip. We'll walk this one out. What was kind of funny, I was looking at the camera giving that stupid little cringe face, not worried about any overruns, because the second that lead hit the ground, it just tucked underneath like so. I know some reels do that, but this one does it every single time. That cast was very online. I almost feel like I heard it hit the tape when the lead hit. I heard a tick in the distance. I don't know if the camera didn't pick it up, but I felt like I hit the tape. So we're gonna find out. We're walking it out. I'd like to say that cast went 210. That's what I'm hoping. We just passed 120. So yeah. But overall, it's a very smooth caster. It's not the greatest caster out there, but for bass fishing and pretty much any kind of bass fishing lure, it's fine. Uh-oh. 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 Now guys, pleasant surprise. And unfortunately for me, my dumb ass picked up the lid and moved it forward. Took the rest of the slack out. There was almost no slack. But it says 251. I think my final uh-oh was at 249. So 249. That's not bad. I'm not putting any effort into it. And this is a 5/8 of an ounce lead, brake setting to 1, and an 8-foot. Not really a fast action rod. It tends to load pretty deep on the cast. It's a fairly unique action. A lot of these new Daiwa Steez AGS rods, because they have such sparsely spaced guides, and with the guides being very light, the actions are a little different than what you get out of your Loomis and your St. Croix and your Shimano rods. Even your the other rods in the Daiwa lineup. If you guys can fork over the cash, I would definitely say pick up this stick. In terms of the reel, meh. I'm not convinced. Not yet, anyway. You know what this feels like? Honestly, an Akuma. But the Akuma seem to cast a little bit quieter on the cast. I don't know why I'm getting that much chatter on the spool. And I'm definitely not digging this sloppiness on the retrieve at all. Man, I keep on saying to myself, am I being too hard on a reel that's brand new to the market? And and when I think that, I think $199 plus taxes and shipping. And then I'm like, nah, this is big boy territory. This is Corrado and Tatula and Zillion territory. And fanboys out there, hate on me, you know, call me what you will, call me a Shimano fanboy. I'm being called a Daiwa fanboy. I'm sorry, this is not my cup of tea. And again, I'm on the middle of a grassy field throwing pieces of lead out into the wild brown yonder. Is it a true representation of how it fishes? No, hell no. But if I'm just retrieving a lead, or if I'm just and it's this rickety, come on. That's not being too picky, is it? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up the camera directly in front of me. And on the cast, I'm going to hold the reel in front of it so you can hear that buzziness. So I'm going to stop the camera and restart it with a higher mic setting. Alright, so we're going to go ahead now. Again, the brake setting is at 1. So there's 1 brake engaged. And I'm going to take all the spool tension out of play. So there is none. So the tensioner is actually having an effect. And while I'm at it, I'm going to give myself a quick little manicure on the knurls of that spool tension adjustment knob. There we go. It's mani-pedi time. Alrighty. I'm going to give her a rip, and I'm going to hold the reel right in front of the camera. Hopefully the mic picks it up. That. It didn't do it that much towards the end like it had been. But we're going to do it again. But now, all things being considered, if I'm throwing jerk baits, if I'm throwing spinner baits, if I'm throwing spy baits, if I'm throwing jigs, it throws them all fine. You know, I'm not complaining about anything like the casting performance in terms of, you know, how controllable it is. I'm throwing it out there with the brake setting at 1 without thumbing it, so. Okay. Heard that? Now imagine that being the case for half the cast. That's what I was doing a little bit before. I don't know what the deal is with that. And you know what? Let's try something else too. See if we can't slow it down a little bit. Hang on a second. Well, let's go ahead and see if we can't slow this speed down. A little slow-mo action going on. Let's try it again. Thought that one was just getting going. So I can definitely sense that that chattery sound comes when it's about to overrun, if that makes sense. God, this ricketiness in the reel is just awful. I really wish there was a way I can show you the spool moving forward and backwards. But there are tolerances much greater than what you'll find in a stainless or ceramic ball bearing associated with every single one of these bushings or ballless bearings. That goes for the handle shaft that connects into the frame. And that goes for the spool bearings as well. I mean, there's a little bit of play in the handle. See how it leans back and forth along with going in and out. I think they use those fancy bushings in there. Additionally, there's also some, there's a gap on the pinion support ballless bearing as well. Now, the bushing reels that I fished with from Penn, those tolerances were tighter. So I don't know if it was a design decision or something they were forced to go with. Something that was good enough. Or maybe I got a dud, I don't know. You can see I'm doing my best to cast with that level line center. So, and there is a tad bit of side to side play. Now it's gone. We'll walk that one out. So what do you guys think? Is this big orange whatever something you guys are interested in? What's your experiences with 13 fishing? And I will throw Akuma into that camp because from what I've seen, they look fairly similar. Probably the same plants. And again, lots of companies do that. Look at Edward Garcia. They haven't made a reel in a while, especially the Revos. But it is what it is. For me personally, I expected more. You know, with the amount of press this reel was getting, I was pretty thoroughly disappointed. I was expecting refinement when they were saying, "Oh, it feels like air, it feels like nothing, blah blah blah." Nah, it's rickety. Every single baitcaster, I'm going to stop walking for a second. Every single baitcaster that's out, whether it's $20, $25 or $100 or $300, they're all smooth. They all feel like air when you turn the handle. It just comes with the territory. So I can't say I'm impressed. But yeah, I stopped because we're at 249 and the lead is right here. So 252. That works for me. So guys, thank you all for joining me. I greatly appreciate all the time and support you have offered and time you spent here. Let me know down below what your thoughts are of this reel. I don't like it. And I'm not just saying that as a hashtag Daiwa Shimano fanboy. It's just not a reel that I think's really that good. Especially again, $199. That ain't a cheap reel. If it was $99, I'd say it's probably one of the best reels on the market. But it's not. It's twice that price. And if we let companies get away with selling overpriced gear, it's just gonna get worse going forward. So, Tackle Advisors signing out. And just to give you an idea, I don't know if you can see my crap that's laying all the way down there. That's what 100 yards looks like. Horrible example. Take care.